What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to the JTFB channel, and it is back to Mock Draft Monday, the first one of post free agency. This is like the one that we've been waiting for, waiting for those pieces and that kind of blueprint to lay out with free agency to really see how Washington should draft. And of course, things are going to change even more. The draft board's going to shake up. The draft board, how it is today on March 17th, and they actually did an update already to their big board here on PFF, just looking at it now. Things changed drastically between now and April, even though it's not that far away. Like, I remember when Jaden Daniels was listed at like 25 or something like that, and then like 2 or 3 weeks for the draft, he, shot up the draft boards. Of course, Washington takes him at 2, and the rest is history. So I'm excited to get through this mock draft. Been kind of messing around with it a little bit. I haven't messed with it today after the update, so I'm excited to see what we got going on. But Money Team, welcome to the chat. Hot Fever, are we trading back or just going for it? We will see, and I'll talk about it for sure. What's going on, Cav? What's going on, Justin? Paul, appreciate the kind words. What's going on, Kenny? I think we should just pull this thing up and get right to it, man. I am pumped because it's officially like the first full day of draft season. So welcome to those who have been waiting for draft season. But I do use the PFF mock draft simulator. I just feel like it's a little bit more accurate. Like with my board and like compare it to like PFN and all the other ones. No shot at them. What's going on to my guy Chef Drake? What's going on, man? I just personally use PFF because I feel like it matches up what I want to do. And I like the trades with the picks and players, stuff like that. I feel like it's actually pretty accurate. I just trust their stuff a little bit more. For this sake, I'm going to go with the public board. I've been doing pretty heavy on PFF's board, but I want to go towards the public side of the board just to really see how it falls and what it looks like. So we'll talk about it. I will get input from y'all. That's my favorite part about this. We get to discuss this, really talk about what we should do, picks, should we trade back? What's going on, J-Mod? Welcome. Jason. Draft season is here. Draft season officially starts for me back in like September, to be honest with you. But people hate when you talk about the draft early. People hate when you talk about it early. Oh my God, we're playing games. We're winning. We're about to be in the NFC Championship game. Blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you talking about the draft? Like, I've been scouting these players since week 1 of college football season. So it's good to see these players on the board and really say, oh, I remember watching that game. This is what stuck out. What's going on? Is Della? Appreciate y'all. April's so close, but so far away, says Jonathan. It really is. What's going on, Robert? All good in the DMV. First year, haven't been doing mock drafts before our bye week. Very, very good point. I did one mid-season mock draft just to see, what I thought about it. And it's really interesting even now going back and looking at it all. So let's go ahead and start this thing up. I'll zoom in for y'all, and I will leave up our picks as well just so it's easier for y'all to see. So Luther Burden just went at 28. Tyler Booker, man, I would really, really like Tyler Booker to be there. Malachi Starks, James Pierce was falling, but he went at 23. Egbuka, dang, they got Donovan Azarique all the way up to 15. Nick Amonwari at 14. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not mad at all at how this looks. Like, at all. This is pretty damn spot on how things could fall. Usually this left side is very, very out of loop. But to be honest with you, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, I don't think Mimbu goes that high. Mason Graham. I'm not mad at all at how this, falls at all. But just looking at how the board is right now, Derek Harmon, Darius Alexander, this is my worry. This is the one thing I was really thinking about a lot today was, I would really, really hate to trade back. And I know they just got Azeez Ojulari. But if the Eagles end up getting Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan, or Nick Scourton, I would be so mad. Especially Nick Scourton, because, they lost Milton Williams. They lost Josh Sweat. Very likely. I see it says wide receiver. Like, maybe they could use a really good, like, third wide receiver. I don't know who they would take. Alik Ayo-Manor, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think they're going to go D-line again. What I would really hate to have happen. What's going on, King Cobra? Welcome to the chat, man. What I would really hate to happen is we trade back and Derek Harmon, Darius Alexander, Walter Nolan, or Nick Scourton go to the Eagles. But especially that edge. I think edge is their bigger need right now. And I think Nick Scourton really fits it really well. So I am tempted to trade back because we have 29, 61, 128, 205, 245. So I am tempted to trade back because we only have 5 picks. To be honest with you, I am more tempted to trade back at 61 if this is how things fall. So Nick Swear is better than Landon Jackson Harmon too. Yes. I personally have Donovan Ezerike. I don't think he's going as high as anything. 15. That's crazy. I have Donovan Ezerike and Nick Scourton in the same category or tier as James Pierce and don't tell me he went early too. Dang, if Mikael Williams goes that early, I'd be surprised too. I think those 3 guys are the guys that have a real chance of falling there. I don't think James Pierce is going to fall to 20. I would honestly be shocked. I think it comes down to Nick Scourton. Now I'm going to do a full video of like just the edge picks that are possible at 29, film breakdowns, everything. Nick Scourton, Donovan Ezerike, I don't think he's going to be there. I highly doubt he goes at 15. And Mikael Williams, who they had going way early. I don't see him going that early either, especially before Shamar Stewart. I think those are the 3 guys I'm kind of honing in on at 29. I think Williams is definitely the dream pick. If he falls to 29, if I had to pick between the 3, I'd go Mikael Williams. But then Nick Scourton and Donovan Ezerike are so close for me. So close. I've been a giant Nick Scourton fan for a while. That Texas A&M defense just wasn't a stat-producing defense by any means. Like, it's not like you're going to look at the sacks, and you can do the same with Shamar. You're going to look for the sacks, the tackles for loss. They just had so many responsibilities on the D-line, and a lot of people have kind of talked about it. They were pretty much a stop-the-run first kind of team and then get to the quarterback. And I've watched a ton of film on Nick Scourton, and everything checks out in my opinion. Everything checks out for me. Like, I'm such a Nick Scourton fan. That's what I'm saying. If we trade back and Nick Scourton goes to the Eagles, I'm going to be so heartbroken. I'm going to be so mad, to be honest with you. Go with Scourton. Browns could be a trade up candidate. I usually do go to the Browns. As a Rocky, what's going on, Range? Welcome, Jay. See, I'm not. I like running back is up there. Like a number 1 running back is up there for me with edge. But to be honest with you, I think there is a drastic fall off, and this might be a hot take. This is gonna, for me, it's a drop off after Nick Scourton. It goes to Landon Jackson. I'm not saying I don't like Landon Jackson. I think he's a solid player. I think he is a high floor guy, but I just genuinely don't think he's there yet to where he can be a true like franchise changing player on the edge. Like I see in Nick Scourton, like I see in James Pierce Jr. And people are talking about, James Pierce Jr. wasn't motivated last year. He couldn't stop the run. He still had an extremely high run stop rate, by the way. He had a 10.1 run stop rate and 84.1 run grade. I don't get this course of like, he can't stop the run. Of course, Adam Peters is going to have to talk to him and see like his personality. I'm not going to judge a guy like, is he motivated? I don't know. I don't know James Pierce Jr. But same with Nick Scourton. Good run stop rate. Obviously, I'd like for it to be a little bit better, but still, compared to a lot of other guys in this draft, it's really solid. And the size, 6'4", 285. I want to say he actually trimmed down to like that 265 range, maybe 270 for the combine. I don't think he was that heavy. But in my personal opinion, like that's when he's going to be most explosive, getting back to how he was like at Purdue, where he's just super explosive off the line, but he's still so disciplined on the edge as well when it comes to stopping the run. I would just find it really, really. So yeah, Hot Fever, you to a T ran a 4-2-5 defense and focuses on the run heavily. They weren't like a, hey, pin your ears back and go get the quarterback type of defense at all, which sounds crazy, but their entire D line was taught to focus on stopping the run. And, if it's a pass play, obviously you want to get to the quarterback and stuff like that. But they were so concerned with mobile quarterbacks. They had to play a lot of them. It was just, I don't know, not my style of play for defense, but for whatever reason, they loved it. You got to play offensive defense with the draft. I mean, I'm taking best available, but I'm also saying, hey, edge is my biggest concern here. So I'm going to read these chats, but I want y'all to tell me if Nick Scourton is on the board here at 29, are you trading back? Or do you say, hey, I don't want him to fall to the Bills or fall to the Eagles, who would probably take Nick Scourton, and trade with the Browns? We can still trade back at like 61, 128. I don't want people to think that just trading back from 29 is a must. I've said this a couple times. I would rather have quality of picks than quantity of picks. I would much rather have Nick Scourton over Landon Jackson and like a fourth or like in a sixth or whatever. Depends how far back you go. In my opinion, I think Nick Scourton is that guy. So do y'all want to trade back here at 29, or do you want to take Nick Scourton? Because that's what I'm at. I'm not at Amarion Hampton. I'm not at Walter Nolan. I would love Derek Harmon. I think he is Chris Jones-esque. I would be very surprised if he falls this far. But to be honest with you, I'm stuck on Nick Scourton here. For me, that's how I see this pick going. Or Donovan Ezerike if he falls down. Queen Sheen said, smash that like button. Absolutely. Hit that like and subscribe button. I think Nick Scourton's good at both. And like I said, you have to combine the A&M and the Purdue tape to see what kind of player Scourton was, but he got a little bit bigger frame him just so he could stop the run. Trade the second, see what teams are offering. In my opinion, draft Hampton. I say stick and pick. I've had mock drafts to get ugly at edge if I trade back. That's what I'm saying. I'm not blown away by Landon Jackson at all, to be honest with you. I'm not blown away. I think he needs to refine a lot. His pass rush win rate is actually super low. I feel like that's his bread and butter, what it's supposed to be, and it's just not there. Trading back for me is almost a guarantee. Peters needs more picks. You trade 29 if Scourton isn't there. I like that. If Scourton's gone, then you trade back. Take Scourton. If we trade back, we can still possibly draft Hampton, but we need an edge. See, Princely, I don't know how I feel about him either. I think it's such a fall off after that. Grab Scourton. Landon's too small. Yeah. Running back is deeper. So yeah, I love that video. Honestly, and we're going to do more mock drafts. Don't worry. For me, and for the sake of this exercise, I truly think if Scourton is there at 29, they would take him. Like I said, we can try trading back from 61, seeing what that looks like. I've done a couple exercises where I trade with the Browns and he's still there at 33, Nick Scourton. But I'm thinking realistically, I just don't see that being possible. So in my personal opinion, it's kind of half and half in the chat. I'm going to go with drafting Nick Scourton at 29. If it's up to the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Eagles, who need to replace Josh Sweat, I think one of them would take him. Oh, man, Jaden Higgins to the Eagles would be insane. I would be pissed. Just seeing where everybody went. Landon Jackson fell all the way down to 44 to the Cowboys, then Princely. I just truly think there's such a drop-off, to be honest with you. I have Scourton a tier higher. And like I said, you really have to combine the A&M and the Purdue tape to see the full the full Scourton tape. And I love what I see from him, to be honest with you. I was bummed when he backed out of the Senior Bowl. So we took Nick Scourton first. Like I said, I'm going to leave it on these picks so y'all can see everything. So now here at 61, it's just a run of corners. There's some D tackles. There's a lot of running backs where you can take a Benjamin Morrison if you want to go corner. I've been going two different ways here. Getting my running back, like now, or also like I can trade back. I've been Blue from Texas is a running back that's been going up my boards a lot, pretty fast. But here's where I really like to take a look because there are some good players that fell. I'm like, all right, who wants a pick? Obviously, I'm not trading with the Giants. Let's see what the Browns offer up. We can go back to 67. I would trade back 6 spots to get 104 and recoup another pick for next year, adding a 5 because we lost our 2nd and 4th next year. I would definitely go back 6 spots and pick up these 2 picks. And we might even be able to steal another. Let's see. Would y'all trade back here at 67? I do really like Ezra, and that's what I said. I think he would be there at 29. I don't see him going at 15, but he's an elite run stopper too. His bend is insane, crazy athleticism, high motor, very Dan Quinn-esque of a player. If he was on the board here and it was between Nick Scourton and Donovan Ozraku, I'd be torn. I would be torn, big time. What's going on, Ficky? Also, Pants Fair here. I'm still down bad from the failed Mary. Shout out to Ficky. They got an awesome show covering the Bears. Only Bears fans I can actually deal with. So appreciate it. I think this is a trade back spot. Porter is nice here. Porter is crazy athletic, track star. Awesome player. Seeing as we just haven't met with those top edge players, they've met with most of the second round edge rushers. I wouldn't look too far into that. There's a lot of times we never there's players we drafted last year that we didn't meet with. And a lot of the times these meetings are like players you might have questions about, or you have like we kind of want to take them, but I kind of want to figure this out kind of thing. You know, obviously we met with Jane Daniels. We met with some of the top guys, but I don't want people to think that we only draft players that we've met with. I know we met with Landon Jackson twice. I just feel like it's hit or miss. It's not an always kind of thing. Urser Scatabo, top tier drops after him. Yeah. Corner value. Blue I really like Blue a lot, to be honest with you. If I'm not taking a dominant running back 1, I'm usually going Blue. So I'm gonna do this trade. I think I like this. Let's see what they say. We can go back because there's a lot of running backs I like here. Oh, they said no. Son of a gun. We're going to get that 5th next year. This goes up to 16%. Let's see. No? Okay, they just want to do 104 and a 5th next year. Dang, they are being stingy. We're going to have to move on. We're going to have to go to the Raiders. Let's go 108. Raiders no ball. Damn. No attempts remaining. No one wanted to do our trade. It just blocks you out completely. Well, that sucks. No one wants to do a trade, which I don't think that was reasonable, to be honest with you. We'll know if they get invited to Topgolf. That's funny. So let's just say it plays out and no one wants to trade back here. Who am I taking? Do you go corner or do you go running back? Benjamin Morrison, Treveyon Henderson, Dylan Sampson, Darren Porter, Cam Scatterbo. I don't think Cam Scatterbo is our kind of player. Dang. I really like Darren Porter a lot. I'm stuck between Damian Porter. I don't know about Benjamin Morrison's hip injury. That kind of worries me. Or Treveyon Henderson. Or Sampson. All right, let's pick between these 3 in the chat. Darren Porter, Dylan Sampson, the young buck, or Treveyon Henderson. There's a lot of running backs left. Morrison, I just don't know about that hip. It was bad, apparently. It was bad. I think he'll be right by the season, but what does he look like afterwards? It's a big question mark. I see a ton of Henderson in the chat, a little bit of Porter. So I'm going to go Henderson, and I agree. I think he's the complete back I love everything about him, the speed, the home run threat, the receiving ability. I shared a tweet today showing his willingness to block. And if you don't take Henderson, Jaden Blue right here, speed guy is a fantastic pick. But this is the part where I'm like, okay, I'm good with trading back because I really don't like too much going on except my guy, Oluwafemi Oladejo. I don't like Zy Alexander. I don't think he really fits. He's a big time zone corner. Some people say he probably gets moved to safety. So I'm not really comfortable taking him at corner, just doing a more deep dive into him. I do like Ajani Cornelius as an outside right tackle, especially in the run game. Cornelius is a stud. This is a prime trade back spot because there are some good players here, especially quarterback Dylan Gabriel. Teams might want to trade up. Damian Martinez is one of my favorite backs in this draft as well. So we could go back, let's just say, I mean, hell, we can go back a good little bit and try to recoup some picks. We'll use that 49er pipeline that we love so much. Not 147. Damn, they're stingy. Let's go. Who has a lot of picks? Who has a lot of picks? Vegas declined us before. I'm just trying to get some more picks for next season. No one wants to trade back, trade picks for next season. That's crazy. Let's see, 143, 144. Patriots don't have a lot. Jets don't have a lot. Bears don't have a lot. I'm not going that far back. Titans, they have a lot of picks. Well, they have an extra 6th. I mean, maybe we just don't pick up a pick next year. At this, I mean, I'm just trying to help AP out because fans are pissed that we already don't have picks for next season. Dang. I know 227 is too far back. All right, let's go back to the Raiders. I feel like this is going to be our sweet spot. They'll give us 213. They'll give us 180. No. So we'll do 213 and 6 next year. How about, I do agree that the trade backs are a little wonky on here. I don't see us drafting a running back. We have to, I mean, we got to get a legit, we have to get sometimes Frost. Sometimes you gotta, it'll still try. It's this 29% chance. Sometimes it still goes. You'd be surprised. So I would trade back from 128 to 143 to get 213. One of those Adam Peters, diamond in the rough picks in a 6 next year. How does that look? 128 for 143, 213, and a 6 for the Raiders next year, which I don't think they're going to be that good, to be honest with you. All right, so they accepted it. I would gladly do that. Let's recoup and get another pick. So now we're here at 143. Billy Bowman Jr., the safety's a player that a lot of people were talking about. I think Nick Scourton will be there at 29. I think so. We should at 29 if teams like Broncos will be our running back one. So we'll do one where we trade back at 29 right after this. We've got time. We've got plenty of time. Well, I will do a trade back one from 29 right after this one just for y'all because I love y'all. But I know Billy Bowman is a guy that a lot of people in the chat have been saying, get him. So I'm cool with that. Oh, my God, Kyle Williams is there, though. It's all right. I'm going to listen to y'all on this one. We're going to go Billy Bowman Jr., build that safety room up. I do like him. So we're going to go Billy Bowman here. And I'm going to find some studs for us. Don't worry. Don't you worry. 205. I'm telling you exactly who I'm taking. I would take Miles Frazier. I think he's going to be a long-time guard in this league. Or Ricky White. Or Ty Felton at wide receiver. But we do have pick 213. I don't know if Ty Felton's going to last to 213. I don't think Ty Felton's going to last. I don't know if Ricky White is either. Dang. I do like Efton Chisholm as well. I'm stuck here. Should we go? Because I think Miles Frazier's going to be a really good guard. Do we go interior with, Jackson Slater as well? Do we go interior O-line, or do we take a wide receiver with Ricky White and Ty Felton? Frazier and Ty with the picks. I would like that. Paul, good reminder. I got you. O-line here. I think Frazier's going to be gone too. I have to risk it. I have to take the higher guy. I'm going to go Miles Frazier here and see who lasts to 213. If both those wide receivers are gone, I'm going to be pissed. Damn. It happened. Both wide receivers got taken. In that short period of time. But so did Jackson Slater. And I feel like Miles Frazier would have gone too. We have to keep building the trenches. I'm not done building the trenches. Ty Felton went to the Broncos. Have fun with Bo Nix. Whatever, man. Whatever. All right. Here, I know we did meet with Keaton Crawford, by the way, for those who keep up with players we met with. Jimmy Horn Jr., I know there's a lot of fans that like him as well. He can do some special teams. Just looking at wide receivers real quick. So I did a trade back. I'll show you it then, but I did a trade back, picked up another pick this year, pick 143, and I forgot what the other one was, and then I got a pick for next year, just recouping some picks next year as well. Let's see. We did pick up Herbig. Yeah, I want to see if he can stay healthy because he was out all last season with his injury. But besides him, I was not excited about the Dieter re-sign. That interior offensive line to me is just a little. We'll see. Tight end, they've already got 4 if you count Colson Yankoff. They already have that reserve guy ready to go. Chris Twin Richardson said, Josh, I think we trade the 29th pick to get Henderson from the Bengals and said they want a first round in return. They give us a 5th rounder as well. Thoughts? They're not trading Trey. I think there's a 5% chance that we get him. I think there's a 15% chance that the Bengals even trade him. They're trying so hard to re-sign him. And I said that a week ago. I'm once again, I'm out on the thought. I don't see it happening, to be honest with you. Now we could go corner here. So how about this? Do y'all want to go tackle, wide receiver, or Will Shepherd? I think Will Shepherd's a guy not a lot of people are talking enough about. I know Colorado's wide receivers, were good. Obviously, Shadur. I think he's one of those guys that's kind of underrated. I know Jimmy Horn's a little bit of a smaller guy, but I kind of like his game. Or do you go corner? We can probably go corner coming up, to be honest with you. There's some depth corner guys I like. I do like Theo Weiss. Can we draft a center? Oh, there's some good corners. I think the fall off is wide receiver after this, to be honest with you. Yeah, I see some wide receiver. So we'll pick one of the many Colorado wide receivers because the fall off of wide receivers is pretty bad. I do like Rock Taylor a lot. He's kind of like Debo, but he's 6'3". He's like a 6'3" Debo, so I don't see that. Corey Brooks is down there. We can take him late. But I think Jimmy Horn Jr., 5'10" to 170. He is super small. But he's an explosive dude, especially special teams. Will Shepherd, how big is he? 6'3", 205. I'm good with that if y'all are. 6'3", 205 wide receiver. Take Shepard. I think that's how I really want to go. And I'm not going to risk losing a wide receiver this time. So we're going to go 239 at 213. So I don't think that's much of a reach at all. So edge, halfback, safety, guard, wide receiver. Let me see best players available. I like Buchanan. I like Aronde, but we're not taking a tight end. I like Johnny Walker if you want to go with another edge. I like Marcus Ware if I wouldn't have gone Frazier. I like Mac McWilliams a lot. I like Tommy Hill a little less. Shamari Simmons, I don't know a lot about. Jabbar Muhammad's just really bad against the run. I would go, to be honest with you, I would go Mac McWilliams here for depth at corner. I thought he had a really good season last year, and the tape on him impressed me a lot, and he looked good at the Senior Bowl as well. I can't get Lacey until we find out what's going on with him. I don't know what that looks like. Shamari Simmons is a dog. He's definitely on my list of players to watch. He's good against the run. He gives up a lot of completions, apparently. 6', 195. I'm going to go with the guy I know. That, like I said, that's Mac McWilliams. I like him a lot. I think he has starter qualities. A little bit smaller, but I don't care. Mikey Samer's still smaller, too. For now, this is just a depth guy. And like I said, we're going to do another mock draft here in a second where we trade back from 29. So I'm going Mac McWilliams because of the bias. I really like him. That's my guy. Drafting a kicker, says Jason. I personally, because of the lack of picks, unless we just trade back a lot and get a ton of picks, I don't see it. I think we would definitely sign an undrafted free agent, though. They've been getting better about this grade because every time I take Treveyon Henderson at like 60, 61, it's always like C- or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I'm not mad at this at all. We picked up a 6th-round pick for next year as well. They gave us a B+. So we took Nick Scourton, Treveyon Henderson, traded with the Raiders, got Billy Bowman Jr., built out that safety room. In my opinion, I think Miles Frazier's going to have a long career at guard. I think he's one of those late-round steals. I watched him a ton at the Senior Bowl, and he was competing his ass off against the best guys there, and the tape checks out as well. I actually like Will Shepard more than a lot of people. I didn't know that he was 6'3" or whatever it said. I didn't know he was that big. But I am intrigued about some traits that he has. Obviously, he's not the perfect wide receiver. But I think that getting Debo really says, hey, that's our number 2 wide receiver. And then now Noah Brown's not forced to be that number 2 guy next season. And his job is going to be easier. So I'm honestly not as concerned about the wide receiver room as people are next season. Because look at just what Jaden Daniels did with the wide receiver room we had last year, and then we add Debo. Let me download this. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Saved. It's on my computer now. All right, so let's start it over. New mock draft. We're going to trade back from 29. We're going to trade back from 29 and see what we get offered. Tell these teams to stop being stingy. The Browns actually don't want to trade this time. Let's go with Tennessee, 35. Let me see. How many picks the Jaguars have? Jaguars have a lot too. It's 36 too far to go back. Let's see. Hell, if they'll give us 70, I'm about to say I doubt it. Ooh. $88, $126 in round 4 next year. Jaguars. Oh, they said no. All right, we'll do a 5th next year. We'll do a 5th. Damn. I feel like going back that many spots, is that realistic? Is that not realistic? 88, 126 and 5th to go back 7 spots. I'm about to force that shit. I don't care. I feel like that's very realistic. I think so. All right, so we got 36, 61, 88, 126, 128, 205, 245. I think 7 spots that high up in the draft going out of the first into the second is very reasonable. I have to look at like trade comps the last few, but I feel like that's close. We're gonna, hey guys, we're gonna force it. I'm just saying, Adam Peters is you can talk people into it. I think it's very reasonable. But Nick Scourton went to Tennessee. That sucks. Shador, ooh, if the Browns got Shador in the second round, that'd be nuts. And Jackson Dart, Higgins, Harmon. Let me see. All right, so we have Darius Alexander, Amarion Hampton, Gray Zabel, Demetrius Knight, Josh Connolly Jr. We're going to put him at right tackle. Alika Manor, Sanders, Williams, Beck, Watts, Amos, Jackson, Revel. So we have 36 and 61. Let's see. I mean, the Jags got Walter Nolan, who a lot of people are saying is a top 20 pick. I'm just saying, I think they would give up a good bit. If these are the guys, if he's on the board at that time, they would say, hell yeah, because they need interior D-line so bad. All right, I see a lot of Hampton. Are y'all thinking Hampton and then edge? Hampton and then edge. I mean, I see a lot of people saying Hampton. I honestly would not be comfortable taking Landon Jackson at 36. I think that's high. I think for me, he's probably going to be around the 50 range. Braden Swinson doesn't really fit. Uman Mielen does. I think Landon Jackson does fit. I think, to be honest with you, I think there's just better players on the board. I think Hampton is a better overall player than Landon Jackson. I think Josh Connolly is, if you want to put him at right tackle, whatever. Sanders, Williams are both better than Landon Jackson. Xavier Watts at safety is better. I love Xavier Watts. Trey Amos at corner is better than him. So, I see Watts, Hampton. Everyone's saying Hampton. Everyone's saying get Amarion Hampton. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for y'all. I don't hate it. I love Amarion Hampton. I think he's a beast. But let's do it. Everyone's saying get Hampton. There's a couple corners in there. But I think the corners class is deep too. All right, now I do like this. I do like Jared Ivey. Kyle Kennard is terrible against the run. I like Josiah Stewart. I like Jordan Birch. His run stop rate is pretty bad too. Not that good of a run stopper. Josiah Stewart, even though he's undersized, can do it all. Elijah Roberts. All right, so are we going corner with Porter? I wouldn't mind Jared Ivey at all. Porter, Ivey, or Morrison. Or Stewart. I'll throw Stewart in there too, because I do really like Josiah Stewart. Yeah, Kyle Kennard, his win stop run rate was bad. He's a great pass rusher. But his run stop rate is actually pretty bad. His athleticism and flexibility are good, but not elite. He rarely has any false steps out of stance, consistently launching his front foot. As a run defender, he is aggressive in shooting gaps and getting to landmarks when slanting or versus zone, but his leaner frame does give him trouble to really hold the point of attack. His fundamentals show a great baseline, so he's just not good at really setting the edge. Once again, I hate to say it. Like he against bigger tackles, with his frame at 254 pounds, he can't really hold the edge, which is crazy because Josiah Stewart can. And he is smaller too. He's 6'2", 245, but he can still set the edge at a great rate. So I like Kyle Kennard, but for us, I really don't. So I'm stuck between Stewart, Morrison, Ivy, and Porter. And then we have pick 88. And to be honest with you, I think you have to go edge. I see Porter, Morrison, Kennard, Stewart. Porter is a very Dan Quinn corner. He's a former track star. He still is raw. Porter's a rare prospect. He's a wide receiver turned cornerback with ideal ball skills, ranks above the 95th percentile in height and length. Dan Quinn. And has an elite track background that translates to the field. He is still raw as just a one-year starter despite being a 6-year player, but his special teams impact and sky-high potential are worth drafting in the middle rounds. I think that's a little harsh on the middle rounds. I think he's definitely a second-round guy. 6'4", 200 pounds, and he's that fast. I do like Noel Williams later, too. I'm glad you mentioned him. I do like him. There's not any good wide receivers here. All right, so let's break it down between Porter and Ivy. Porter and Ivy. Let's see. Drop it in the chat, Porter or Ivy. 6-year player. How old is he? 24. Welcome to college football in 2025. Other edges available. Ivy, Kennard, Josiah Stewart, Elijah Roberts. So we have pick 88. I mean, I think there's a massive drop-off. After Ivy, Kennard, and Stewart, Birch. Yeah, I think we have to go edge now because corner is a little bit deeper. At 88, we're still going to get a corner. I'm going to go Jared Ivy. I trust him the most out of all these guys. 6'6", 285. I think he slimmed down a good bit too. 6'6", 280. He's built for the NFL. Size, strength, great versatility of the defensive end, and odd or even fronts. He doesn't have a ton of pass rushing moves, but the ones he does know, bull rush, swim, club rip, can be very effective, especially anything with a club arm over that he pairs getting across a blocker's face. He just fits to me what we've been doing in free agency, but he gives you a little bit more upside with his pass rushing attacks. He's not just a run stopper, and he has some good moves. He had 8 sacks last season, 31 hurries, 3 batted passes. I mean, his highest graded season by a lot. And he lined up mostly outside the tackle, so out there, like 7-9 tech. I'm going to go Jared Ivy, to be honest with you. I like Jared Ivy, and I think he really fits what they're trying to do. Wise, the thing is, we are going to be rotating these edge guys. Between Wise, between Dorrance Armstrong, even Javonte Jean-Baptiste, and whoever we draft, we're going to be rotating these guys. I do like Wise, and Wise does stop the run. We're going to go corner or safety next here. Oh, but I do like Marcus and Bo as our right tackle. Put Coleman at left guard. All right, so we got Andrew Makuba, who I like a lot. Andrew Makuba. I don't like Lathan Ransom. Sorry to the Ohio State fans. Makuba, Dorian Strong. Ooh, Makuba or Dorian Strong. I think Makuba is a very Dan Quinn player as well. Damn, everybody's saying Mbo. We got some ball numbers in the chat. Everybody's saying Mbo. Strong, Makuba. Jonas Sanker is good too. I do like Jonas Sanker. Is he on here? Probably. Yeah, Jonas Sanker is there, but it's probably a little too high for him. I like Makuba more. Tez Johnson was running with concrete in his shoes. I don't know what the hell happened at the at the combine. That was crazy. Everyone's saying Mbo. Makuba and Mbo. We got a Tate Ratledge. Someone said trade again. Oh no. To be honest with you, I don't like Bond at all. I don't like Bond at all. He can't handle the physical style. Everyone's saying Mbo. All right. I mean, I personally was thinking, hey, corner, safety, or the chat's gonna be pissed at me. But what corners we got coming up? Oh, Noel Williams. Hell yeah. Noel Williams is a perfect fit for this defense, too. I pray he falls. Noel Williams, in my opinion, has starter upside. Safety. Yeah, we got some studs at safety. I like this whole group right here. I like Upton Stout as a dude too. Small, but he's a dude. All right. Hey, everyone's saying Mbo, so I'm going Mbo. I'm not mad at it. I think Mbo is another one of these guys. Let me go to our picks. I think he's one of those dudes that I would love. All right, who we got? Like I said, Zy Alexander, in my opinion, does not fit this defense. Then he probably gets moved to safety. Ooh, my guy. Hola, Wafemi Oladejo. Johnny Cornelius. I think we could trade back here. Because we have, we already took running back. We've already got our tackle or guard, wherever you want to do with Mbo. I mean, if y'all really wanted to, we could double up at edge. But I think we could trade back, get Bowman, get Pat Bryant if you want, Kyle Williams. I mean, we have 2 picks coming up, so I can trade this one back because it's more valuable, and then we still pick at 128. So let's do that. Let's trade this one. I feel like if this is what happens, this is where you trade back, fill in that gap, and pick up picks for next year. So let's just say 142. Who can give us? Let's do Jets. I would trade back to 145 to pick up a 5th next year. Is that crazy? Safety or linebacker. Do y'all not want to trade back here? I just feel like the board, there's nothing really right here that excites me. Like I said, Zai, in my opinion, just doesn't fit. The one player that really stands out is if you want to double dip on edge, go Olawafemi Oladejo, Billy Bowman, but that's all the way down at 147. We can trade back. We can trade back a little bit. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to trade back to... Will they give me a 5th next year? Hell yeah. All right, so we picked up a 5th next year. We need some more picks for next year as well. So, and we picked in 2 more picks, so we can still take who y'all want. I think here we got a running back, we got an edge, we got a tackle. I think a lot of people said Billy Bowman at safety. I just don't think I think let me double check. I'm pretty sure Zai, people have him projected to go to safety. He's just a very, very zone heavy type guy. Alexander's fundamentally sound, cover corners, limited athleticism will likely make him either a zone specific cornerback or potential safety convert due to how reliable he is when tackling and in run defense. So pretty much they're just saying he's probably gonna have to be a zone heavy guy and probably move to safety. 6'2", 194. Tore his ACL. Pretty much just saying he's, better at run stopping than coverage. I mean, we can take him. If y'all want a corner here at 128, Zai is the best one on the board. I do like Willie Lampkin. He's a beast too. But we already took one offensive lineman. We already took one dude. Fuck. Y'all want to go corner? Or do y'all want to go Billy Bowman? I'm stuck between Billy Bowman or Zy Alexander because y'all said y'all want him. I'll take him. Ooh, Zoff Frazier. Where's Zoff Frazier even ranked on here? He's one of my sleepers. He might be gone already. Yeah, Zah's not even on here anymore. All right, let's go. Where did Noel Williams go? Noel Williams went a few picks before us, so he was already off the board when I traded back. Which sucks because I really like Noel Williams as well. I do like Powell Ryland. Let's go. Barrett Carter. He fell off big time though. Yeah, he's a liability in coverage. He fell off. I remember 2022. People were hyped about Barrett Carter. I don't know. Yeah, Makuba's gone. Makuba went he went at 111. We have Louvu, we have Bobby. They are expecting they're expecting McGee to break out this season. So I'm not really too worried about linebacker right here. I do like hot take, I like Jack Kaiser more than Barrett Carter. So let's go corner. I see people saying Zy Alexander. Let's go. LSU boys, let's just load them up, see what happens. We need a corner, and I saw in the chat somebody can coach him up. Let's do it. He's super athletic. Let's take a flyer on him. 4th round corner. So we got Hampton, Ivy, and Bo, Zy Alexander. Next, let's go. We got Billy Bowman still on the board. Pat Bryant at wide receiver. Kyle Williams. That's my guy. Y'all might hate me, but I gotta go. Kyle Williams, man. Safety. Who's left at safety? Bowman, Stout, Rainsaw, Arnold, Clark. I do like Craig Woodson a lot. I think his coverage ability is good. I think he fits. Like I said, we did meet with Keaton Crawford and then Malachi Moore later as well. I'm going Kyle Williams. That's sleeper of the draft. At 140, hell yeah. I'm sorry. There is a lot of Williams in the chat. So I'm going Kyle Williams. He would fit this offense so well. So well. All right, so we got running back, edge, tackle, corner, wide receiver. Now we can go offensive line. If you want a real backup center, you take Jake Majors. We can go Frazier again. Looking at these safeties, like I said, I do really like Craig Woodson. He's there at 229. I'm a big Craig Woodson fan. All right, so we got our wide receiver, got our corner, got our tackle, got our edge, got our running back. I see Frazier again, guard or safety. At 245, who's going to be there? Let me just look at the end. Ooh, I do like Joshua Gray as well. And then Ware's usually here as well. Yeah. I say we go safety and then guard, to be honest with you, because I feel like the guys that are going to be there at guard coming up. But damn, I like Jackson Slater and I like Miles Frazier a lot. But for me, I don't see. RJ Mickens is super underrated too. Craig, man, there's some actual good safeties here. Malachi Moore, Craig Woodson, R.J. Mickens, Keaton Crawford. I don't know much about Elijah Clark. Ty Felton. Do we add another wide receiver? Yeah, we can get Gray in a little bit. Ransall, Trader, or Malachi Moore. Everyone's saying Moore. I honestly, as an Alabama fan, I would not hate it at all. I'm a big Malachi Moore fan. I think he fits Dan Quinn. I know people think he has a bad attitude because of that one game against Vanderbilt, but I promise y'all, Malachi Moore is one of those dudes that was with Alabama for a long time. I met him at the Senior Bowl and I was fangirling. Like, I'm a big Malachi Moore fan. I think he's the kind of guy you can do so much with. And that, I mean, he has that dog mentality out on the field. I'm a big Malachi Moore fan. I say that's the way we go. I agree. A lot of Malachi Moore in the chat. Appreciate it. All right, so we got a running back, edge, tackle, corner, wide receiver, safety. I would personally, I'm either going Joshua Gray, or if you do want to add a linebacker, Teddy Buchanan's a beast. Jalen Walker, former JMU linebacker, he's good too. You can add another edge if you want. Johnny Walker was super productive last season, 10 sacks. Had a good week at the Shrine Bowl, 6'3", 255. He's got some moves that I like. If you want to add more depth to the edge, that's fine too. Yeah, Gadsden's still there. Joshua Gray. I do like Carson Vincent. And roll tide. A lot of sleepers left. I'm telling y'all. I know this isn't like the best draft and it kind of falls off after a little bit, but there's some big time sleepers in this one. So I'm really stuck. Guys that I personally have scouted that I like. I do like Rondé Gadsden, but I don't see us going tight end again. I like Buchanan at linebacker. I like Joshua Gray at guard. This is a guy I was watching last year for the draft, and he decided to go back. And I like Johnny Walker at edge. We already got Marcus Mbo. I think I personally would start him at right tackle. But maybe not this season. Maybe he goes next season. But I'm just saying, like, for his long-term position, I wouldn't kick him into guard. I would leave him at tackle. Who else? Yeah, to be honest with you, that's my three. That's the three I'm going with. Johnny Walker, if you want to double up at edge. Joshua Gray, if you want an actual true guard. Or if you want a linebacker for depth, Teddy Buchanan. Joshua Gray is athletic. I think he can move in space. Yeah, I kind of saw it today. I don't know if they really would trade for, Treveyon Henderson. Trayvon Walker. But I just don't know what that package looks like. I mean, I would imagine they'd be asking for a lot. So I'm out on that. I'm out. Code Talk, this is a good one. I will save that for next Monday's mock draft where we trade up to get a top guy, which people might hate that, but kind of like what I did tonight with trading back. We did 2. We'll do 2 next Monday, and one of them will be trading up for you. So make sure you're here next Monday. But we're doing mock draft Monday every Monday until the draft happens. So I do like Tommy Hill as well. So we can double up on corner. We can double up on edge. We can take a linebacker or we can go guard. Let me know in the chat. This will be our last pick. It'll be right at an hour. That's perfect. Y'all want to double up at edge, double up at corner, take a guard with Joshua Gray, or take a linebacker with Teddy Buchanan, who I am a big fan of as well. Cal actually got some ballers, y'all. Like, y'all need to start watching some Cal football because this dude's an athletic freak as well. I like Buchanan. Kicker, I'm going to just sign one after undrafted free agency. I think there's a lot of kickers in this draft that are good. But I don't know. Maybe we'll take a kicker on the next one. We'll take a kicker on the next mock. But for me, I'm just going to sign one undrafted. Like, hey, we got an open competition. You want to come? I see Buchanan. I see Tommy. Corner. I think we already doubled safety with the corner. Who might play at safety? Let's see. Is Amarion Hampton's stock dropping for some reason? I thought he was a first rounder for sure. I think he's a late first rounder. I don't think his stock is necessarily falling. I think a lot of people think, that the Cowboys would take him that high. So I don't think his stock's actually falling. I think at 36 is very, very, very rare, but who knows? Who knows? I want to draft Nick Scourton, great run defender, Treveyon, Henderson, and Malachi Moore. Don't know if possible, but if we do that, those are three of my guys I would bang the table for. I'm going to go highest upside player, in my opinion. It's between Johnny Walker and Joshua Gray. And I'm going to go Joshua Gray. Because it seems like, we could lose Wiley after next season. I think Wiley's going to start at right tackle next season. I truly think Coleman's going to start at left guard. I truly think so. And I think Allegretti could kick over to right guard until Cosme comes back. But I like the upside of Joshua Gray, super athletic guy. He did play some left tackle as well. I think he's more natural at left guard because of his length. Gray's lengthy outside zone experience and willingness to play inside due to his lack of length could give him a chance to stick in the league. His ability to perform adequately in pass protection will determine the length of that stint. 6'4", 310, that screams guard to me. So I'll take it. I forgot who it was during the combine. Daniel Jeremiah spoke super high of Joshua Gray. He said that's a guy that really intrigues him. So let's keep building the trenches. You can't go wrong building it in the trenches. I think Mbo, to be honest with you, I would feel so good starting him at right tackle. There's not a lot of tackles in this draft, especially right tackles, where I'm like, okay, I think they can compete there. Like, who is it? Emory Jones Jr. from LSU, like kick him into right guard. Wyatt Milam probably getting kicked into guard. Jonas Savina out of Arizona probably kicking into guard. There's a lot of those right tackles in this draft where you're kicking them to right guard. I think Wiley's going to start at right tackle this season. And I would love to have a guy like Marcus Mbo to either learn from him, or if he can start over him, then you kick Wiley into right guard. But you at least have those pieces. Wiley restructured. So now you can say, okay, maybe Coleman is the long-term answer at left guard. Maybe it's right tackle. Who knows? Keim said he thinks he goes to right tackle. And then a few minutes later, he replied to his own tweet and said, but it is way too early. Who knows? Nothing's set in stone. They're going to play it out at camp and see who goes where. So it's not like a, word about is, hey, Coleman's going to right tackle, by the way. It's just that's what he thinks. And personally, I think it's early, but I'll be there at training camp watching this go down because I'm moving back full time. I think Coleman at left guard with Tunzel, Coleman, and Biotish is just perfect on that left side. Now let's figure that right side out. Cosme, I think, is going to be out till November, late November, early December. It's my personal opinion. But I think you kind of, wait for him to come back. You're either going to put Wiley at right guard, who played there with the Chiefs. He's played right guard plenty. And then you could start a guy like Marcus Mbo. Or, if he's not ready, then cool, put Allegretti at right guard for a little bit. Or we'll start Urbig at right guard for a little bit. Hell, hopefully it works out. And then Wiley start at right tackle. But I personally would be shocked if Wiley doesn't start at right tackle next season or at right guard until Cosme comes back. But I don't see Coleman just kicking to the opposite side of the line. I think it's way too early in his development to say, okay, you were playing left tackle. Now let's kick you to the other side. I think him at left guard would be sensational. I got you, Paul. So the fourth rounder from the Texans, we did some trades. Let me talk about it real quick. So we traded pick 36. We traded 29 for 36 this year. 88, which is a third-round pick this year, 126, and a fifth next year. So we took a pretty big jump back. We took Hampton at 36 because if he falls to 36, hell yeah, you got to take him. Like I said, I don't see him getting out of the first round, but this is just how it fell. And then Jared Ivey, in my opinion, is one of those guys. Once again, I think there's a fall off after a guy like Jared Ivey, just a really big guy who's going to destroy an edge somewhere, whichever way you line him up, either side of the line, honestly. Big time run stopper, has some really good, crazy bull rush move. And for his size, his hands, his chops, those kind of, swims, rips, and stuff like that are actually pretty surprising for me for how big he is. But you see those drills where they're just hitting the side of the pads. That is a guy you do not want to get hit from. He is a giant. But Marcus Mbow, I think personally he could start next year at right tackle. You're not worried about that blind side. That's what Larry Tunsil has. You have a guy who can start on the outside day one, in my opinion, where Jaden can see what's going on. He has that vision. He's a mobile quarterback. I'm not as worried about that. And if he's not ready to start, then cool, you got Wiley. But I really like Marcus Mbow, like a lot. This is a guy I mock draft to us a lot. Him and AGNECY Cornelius, better run defender than he is pass protector, but I like Mbow and AGNECY Cornelius a lot. Zy Alexander, people in the chat said, let's get him. Super athletic corner. Some people say he might move to safety, but I think, with Witt, with DQ, if they coach this guy up, the sky's the limit. He has something you can't teach, and that's athleticism. So I'm taking a fly on him. I like it. And then we traded pick 126 that we got from the Jags and flipped it to 140 and then a fifth next year. So for next year, we picked up 2 fifth-round picks because we lost a second, we lost a fourth. So right now we have 3 fifth-round picks next season, which would be fantastic. That's more trade bait for Adam Peters to flip it to, I don't know, someone who's going to want to be traded next offseason. We'll see. But being able to flip those picks and get that back and get a fifth-rounder next year, and then we picked up 140, who we took Kyle Williams. And this is the stupidest grade I've ever seen. This should be an A++. Kyle Williams in this offense on the outside. I don't care how small he is, compared to some of these other guys, but Kyle Williams on the outside, hell, you can even put him in the slot. But these screens, these slants, these quick passing concepts that Cliff loves, if you watch Kyle Williams tape, it screams Cliff Kingsbury's offense. And I told him, I was like, bro, you would fit perfectly here. And he said, I would love to catch balls from Jane Daniels. We're both Cali boys. But if you're not doing anything tonight, go watch Kyle Williams versus New Mexico. Was it New Mexico? Or New Mexico State? It was New Mexico. But I'm telling y'all, Kyle Williams is that guy. Super productive last season at Washington State. Transfer from UNLV. I really like Kyle. And then Malachi Moore, one of those long-term leaders for Alabama. One of my favorites from Alabama as an Alabama fan. I love Chai. I think he would be an excellent addition to the safety room, especially in round 6. I think he's one of those dogs that just super competitive. Like I said, people were upset about how he acted at the end of the Vanderbilt game, but this boy bleeds Alabama. I love how much this guy defends that university. Malachi Moore bleeds Crimson. And then Joshua Gray, big time upside. I agree with this, B+. If you get Joshua Gray in the 7th, I think this is a guy who's going to be a very, very solid depth piece in his career at guard. He can move really well, especially all these pulls that Washington does. I want to see what kind of running offense we run next year, because about halfway through the season, we kind of changed. Like we went from, gap heavy to where we're pulling guys and we're just hitting a gap. And then it seemed like second half of the season, like, all right, let's go into more of a zone. It's kind of figured out and turn into more of a zone, and Jaden's running the ball kind of offense. So I think it's a super solid mock draft. And let me save it before Paul hates me. But I do have it. But I think it's a solid. I think we hit everything. I think we got good value on everybody. I think, the pool of players, overall, and getting 2 picks for next year, That's really solid. I'll never be mad at that. I like this one a lot. And then next week, we'll talk about a couple more scenarios. And then coming up, I'm going to start doing draft videos of like positions, of like guys to watch for, early round guys I like, late round guys I like, and then also like very detailed, like player specific videos, like just a Marcus Mbo video of like his tape, his all 22. Like I've got my all 22 stuff. But it's draft time. So from now to then, this is where I just start going heavy on the draft. I'll spend hours putting videos together of all 22 stuff, showing y'all some players. So make sure you're subbed up, make sure you like, and if there's a player that you really want to see breakdowns of and tape of, like I said, all 22, whatever, fit wise, how it is for Washington, drop it in the actual comments, not the chat, because I can't see this afterwards. But go to the video and go to the comments and say, Josh, I want to see some Amarian Hampton tape. I want to see some Kyle Williams tape. And it might bring a tear to my eye if you say you want to see some Kyle Williams. And I will say, yes, I will gladly make that for you. So I appreciate everyone that helped out with the mock draft. I like getting y'all's input and really just going through this and talking about it. Because like I said, things do change a lot from now to April. But the free agency thing is set. Like, pretty much all the way done. But what I really, really like about what we did in free agency is how it really laid things out. Like, I don't think a corner is a must in the first, 2 picks or whatever. Because I think Jonathan Jones could start next year and they would feel okay with that. And same with safety. Everyone's like, oh, you have to take a corner from one of the first 2 picks. I don't think so, because I think Will Harris could start next season and they would be okay with that once again. Quan Martin, Will Harris, and then you've got some depth guys as well. Now we're starting to build the depth. I think that's what I really enjoyed about this free agency group. We had no depth last year. At safety, corner, offensive line, we had no depth. Depth did not exist at all. But now we are finally, and I have it ready for y'all, we are finally starting to build that depth. They need to update this. Has Arled's not updated it yet? Okay, well, Alameda Zacchaeus obviously isn't here. But just looking at the depth that we actually have now, we need to add another wide receiver for sure. But like Noah Brown not forcing to be the wide receiver 2. Now he's the wide receiver 3. Luke McCaffrey should take a jump next season. But offensive line, damn, they did not update anything. But like Herbig now, we have some depth. We did bring back Michael Dieter. But what I'm just saying is having Laramie Tunsil being that franchise left tackle now, Coleman could be the left guard. Then you have some depth with Nick Allegretti, whatever they decide to do. Running back, we'll see. We got a shit ton of depth. We don't have a legit starter. You said got to check the depth chart at ESPN. It's updated. Okay, let me see. Let's do Commanders. Depth chart. Our lads is like my go-to, but they are disappointing me. Let's see what ESPN has. Like we got hella depth at tight end still. I'm glad we brought everybody back. Yeah, we definitely need some more wide receivers. Chris Moore and Mike Strachan are not going to be your depth guys. But these are our reserves as well. So yeah, Nate Herbig instead of Chris Paul now. He can be your guy at right guard if you have to, nonetheless. Brandon Coleman, like I said, I think he kicks into left guard. Or if he does go to right tackle, then you have some depth there as well. Defensive line. Jacob Martin, adding Eddie Goldman, adding Dietrich Wise, adding Javon Kinlaw. It is deep. You can say all day long that we don't have a starting edge guy, and I will not say you're wrong about that. But we've got better depth than we did. I think Wise is a really good rotational piece. I think Javonte Jean-Baptiste is a good rotational piece. I think for his limited snap count, Jacob Martin is a good rotational piece. Same with D-tackle. Newton rotating in with Sheldon Day, who produced when he was in. Then just imagine adding a legit edge to this whole party here. We have depth now. Depth at corner. Still need a little bit more. But hell, we brought back Noah I. We got Jonathan Jones out there now. And I think they have this right. Sanderson's going to go in the nickel. Marshawn's going to go to the outside. Jonathan Jones is way better on the outside than he was at corner. Nickel corner, slot corner. So we actually have a little bit of depth now. Now we can still keep building that depth in the draft. I would like to add to the corner depth. I would like to add one more safety. Don't sleep on Tyler Owens, though. Don't sleep on him. Athletic freak. Year 2, Tyler Owens. And wide receiver. So the depth pieces I really want to add to is wide receiver. Another guy right there in that middle. Offensive line, I'll never say no to. I think they got plenty of depth at edge and D tackle. I just want like a legit edge now. And then, like I said, one more corner, maybe another safety. Percy Butler on my team. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We have some good edge guys, just nobody with 10 plus sacks, but check the PFF on these guys. They all produce and have better run grades than who we had. I mean, our run, that's the one thing. Our run D line got so much better in free agency. Dietrich Wise, Javon Kinlaw, Jacob Martin, Eddie Goldman. If anything, Eddie Goldman's going to clog up the middle. Ain't nobody going to run past that dude. He's huge. Our run defense, especially Dietrich Wise. I think Dietrich Wise is one of those sleeper signings. Like even Patriots fans are like, dang, him and Jonathan Jones, they hated losing him. But I do agree. I think, and that's why I really don't like trading back and just taking some, tier below guy like Landon Jackson or, one of those edges. I'm just like, I much prefer to draft a Donovan Zurike, a Nick Scourton. Not saying I hate Jared Ivey, but I would not put Jared Ivey, in the same category as, James Pierce Jr., obviously, or Donovan Zaraku, would not put him in the same category. Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, obviously, Mikael Williams, one of those guys, and Nick Scourton. It's not even close for me. After Nick Scourton, it's a drop-off. It's like tier 1, tier 2, like tier 4. It's just a drastic drop-off. So, but I appreciate y'all for coming through on Mock Draft Monday. Like I said, we will be back next Monday to try out some other things. We'll trade up to try to get, higher than 29 and then see if we can also trade back after that and recoup some picks. And what does that look like? I mean, hell, if we can trade up, if we can get to like this range, do we take a wide receiver like Luther Burden if we are Matthew Golden, or do we just go edge? Would you trade up for James Pierce Jr.? That's the discussion we'll have. Trading up to 15 for Donovan Azaraku would be insane. But I think next week we'll try to trade up into this little range right here to see. I mean, hell, even a Kelvin Banks Jr. at right tackle. This all intrigues me, so I can't wait to do that one. But make sure you're subbed up, guys. Hit the thumbs up button as well, and I will be back next Monday. I'll drop some videos throughout this week, and if something crazy happens, I'll go live. So don't worry. I will drop some more videos this week. I'm not going to just do nothing until Monday, but we will be live again for sure next Monday for Mock Draft Monday for all the draft heads out there like me. So sub up, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.